Have you noticed it? That quiet visitor that arrives when the noise of the world finally fades, the emails stop, the work is done, the day exhales into silence. In that stillness, something stirs, a faint hum beneath the surface. Not a scream, not a crisis, just a soft, uneasy vibration. We usually call it anxiety, a restlessness that whispers, something is missing, something is about to go wrong. Our first instinct is to push it away, distract ourselves, fill the silence, run toward busyness. We treat it as an enemy. But what if we've misunderstood? What if this subtle discomfort is not a flaw in us but a teacher? A quiet signal pointing inward, asking us to pause and look more deeply. The Buddha often spoke of dukkha, this undercurrent of unease that flows through human life. It is not a mistake, it is the very starting point of wisdom. If we stop running, if we sit gently with this unease without judgment, we discover something important. Anxiety is not here to destroy us, it is here to show us the truth of our own mind. So the next time that quiet dread arrives, don't chase it away. Instead, bow to it, breathe with it, listen. Within that unease lies the doorway to stillness and perhaps the beginning of freedom. Exercise 1. Releasing the raft. Our lives are like a vast, unpredictable ocean, stretching endlessly before us, without borders, without clear maps, without promises of certainty. Its waters are alive, forever shifting, sometimes calm, sometimes violent, always untamed. We are born into it without a compass, and from the very beginning, we are asked to learn how to float, how to swim, how to trust something that feels so much larger than we are. Some days the sea is kind. The waters are calm, shimmering under a golden sun, the surface glistening like glass. The air is gentle, the horizon wide, and the ocean seems to whisper an invitation. Come, rest here, drift with me, trust my rhythm. On those days, we almost believe we are in control. We set our course, chart our direction, breathe easily, and tell ourselves that we have mastered the sea. But other days are not so kind. Other days, storms rise without warning. Dark clouds gather and swell, winds howl, and tear waves build higher and higher until they tower above us like mountains, crashing with a force that rattles the core of who we are. The waters churn and twist, pulling us in every direction at once. The calm sea we thought we knew transforms into a wilderness, wild and unforgiving. In those moments, instinct takes over. We grasp for whatever feels secure. We reach for our carefully drawn plans, for our familiar routines. We cling to our expectations as if they were life rafts, as if the certainty we've built will keep us afloat when everything else threatens to drag us under. And yet, the harder we grip, the more exhausted we become. Our hands ache, our arms weaken, our minds burn with effort. We paddle against the currents, trying to overpower them, imagining that if we fight hard enough, we can tame the waters, bend the tides, silence the storm. But no matter how fiercely we resist, the ocean does not obey. It does not yield to our demands. It moves as it always has, ancient, boundless, mysterious, infinitely more powerful than us. The truth crashes over us. Control was never ours to begin with. Still we resist. Still we hesitate because fear whispers in the wind and its voice is sharp. Fear says, if you let go, you will sink. If you stop fighting, you will be lost. If you trust the water, it will betray you. And so we grip tighter, clutching our fragile rafts of certainty, our expectations too small to hold us. We exhaust ourselves, thrashing against the waves, not realizing that the very waters we dread might be waiting, not to destroy us, but to carry us. And then comes the moment. Sometimes it is not a choice at all, but a breaking point, when every ounce of strength runs out and we simply cannot hold on anymore. Other times it is quiet and deliberate, a gentle surrender, a decision to loosen our grip, to open our hands, to stop demanding and start trusting. And in that moment, something remarkable happens. We do not drown, we float. We discover the ocean in a new way. The waters that once seemed only cruel reveal themselves as capable of holding us. The same waves that once terrified us can lift us, carry us, guide us toward places we never imagined. In letting go, we are not lost, we are found. Letting go is not defeat. It is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of freedom. For when we stop exhausting ourselves with resistance, our eyes rise above the waves. We see again. We see the horizon stretching wide, vast, full of possibility. We see islands we never knew were there, paths hidden in plain sight, beauty unfolding in the constant dance of the sea. What once felt like chaos becomes rhythm. What once felt like danger becomes invitation. Our energy, once consumed by fear, becomes free for discovery, for wonder, for trust. For life was never meant to be conquered. It was never about bending the ocean to our will. Life was meant to be lived, to be felt, to be experienced in all its unpredictability. The ocean was never meant to bow to us. We were meant to learn how to move with it. The currents will surprise us, pulling us into places far beyond the ones we planned. The storms will test us, reminding us not only of our fragility but of our resilience. The calm waters will soothe us, reminding us that peace too is part of the journey. And through it all, the ocean itself becomes our teacher. It teaches us patience when the waves are slow, when progress feels invisible but steady. It teaches us courage when storms rise, when every instinct tells us to flee. It teaches us humility when we realize how small we are, how vast and powerful the waters will always be. And most of all, it teaches us trust in something greater than our need for certainty, greater than our plans, greater than the fragile rafts we cling to. The way forward has never been in resistance. It has always been in surrender. And in that surrender we find not just survival but freedom, the freedom to drift, to float, to be carried by waves we once feared, the freedom to discover horizons we never dreamed of, the freedom to realize that even in the wildest seas, especially in the wildest seas, we are exactly where we are meant to be. The practice. Close your eyes and imagine you are floating on this ocean. In your hands you're holding a small wooden raft, your raft of control. It might represent a specific outcome you're worried about, a person you're trying to change, or an old way of being you don't want to lose. Feel the splintered wood, the weight of it in your grip. Now with a conscious choice, open your hands and let the raft go. Watch it drift away on the current. Feel the lightness that comes from letting the ocean hold you up instead. This small act is a physical signal to your mind that it's safe to release your white-knuckled grip and trust the natural flow of life. If this message resonates with you, and you're seeking more moments of peace and insight, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for daily reflections rooted in ancient wisdom and modern clarity. Exercise 2. Witnessing the weather. Anxious thoughts can feel like a sudden storm. They rarely announce themselves gently. They arrive with force, with speed, with a presence that consumes the horizon. One moment the air is still, the sky open, and then, almost without warning, the clouds gather, the light dims, the winds shift. The first rumble of thunder sounds in the distance, faint but ominous. Then, before we can prepare, the storm is upon us. It crashes into us with a torrent of fear. You are not capable. You are not worthy. You will fail. Lightning flashes through the mind, each strike a sharp thought that blinds us to reason. Thunder rolls again and again, shaking our confidence, making even the firmest ground feel unstable. The rain pours, relentless, cold and heavy, until we are drenched in doubt, every what-if soaking into our skin. And in those moments, the storm feels endless. It feels like the only truth. We forget that the sky was ever blue, that calm ever existed, that light ever warmed us. We forget that we are more than the chaos. We begin to believe that the storm is us, that our anxious thoughts are the truest measure of who we are. But this is not so. The storm is loud, but it is not permanent. The storm is real, but it is not the whole. Because beneath it, holding it, surrounding it, there is something greater. We are not the storm, we are the sky. The sky is vast. It has room for thunder, for lightning, for endless sheets of rain. And still, it remains. No storm, no matter how violent, can destroy the sky. The sky stretches far beyond the clouds. The storm may dominate our sight, but the sky holds both the darkness and the light, both the fury and the calm. This is who we are. Beneath anxious thoughts we are vast. Beneath fear we are steady. Beneath every rushing, circling, suffocating storm, there is an awareness, an openness, an unbreakable presence that remains untouched. Thoughts pass through, feelings pass through, storms rise and storms fade, but the sky remains. When we forget this, we fight. We resist the storm with everything we have. We push, we run, we try to outshout the thunder in our heads. But storms do not respond to force. They do not vanish at our command. In fact, the more we resist, the more trapped we feel. It is only when we remember the truth, that we are the sky, not the storm, that space opens. We realize we do not need to defeat the storm, we only need to allow it, and in allowing, we notice something remarkable. Even storms carry purpose. Rain nourishes the earth, feeding roots unseen. Lightning cracks the sky, illuminating the landscape in ways we could not have imagined. Wind clears the air, sweeping away what no longer belongs. Anxious thoughts too, though painful, may hold hidden gifts. They may point us toward wounds that need tending, toward vulnerabilities that long for compassion, toward truths we have tried too long to ignore. Storms are not the end. They are teachers, and just as every storm comes, every storm also goes. The thunder rolls on into the distance. The lightning fades. The rain softens, then stops. Clouds part, slowly, reluctantly at first, but inevitably. And then the sun pierces through again, golden and warm, reminding us that light was never gone. It was only hidden. The air feels lighter, clearer. The ground, though wet, begins to glisten. And life continues. So it is with us. No anxious thought lasts forever. No storm in the mind is eternal. The feelings that seem unendurable soften, shift, and pass. Always, always the sky returns. And even when hidden, the sky never truly left. To live with storms is not weakness. It is part of being human. No sky is without weather. To be alive is to know both sunshine and rain, both stillness and wind, both peace and storm. And yet the presence of storms does not diminish the sky. In fact, they reveal its strength. The sky is not fragile because of weather. It is vast because it can hold it all. So when the storm of anxious thoughts rises, and it will, pause, breathe. Remember, you are not broken. You are not lost. You are not your fear. You are the sky. Wide enough, strong enough, enduring enough to hold even the fiercest storm. The thunder may shout, the lightning may strike, the rain may fall, but you are the space in which it all unfolds. You are steady even when you feel shaken. You are whole even when the storm tries to convince you otherwise. And when the clouds pass, and they will, you will see again. You will remember the sun, the blue horizon, the vastness of who you are. The storm cannot unmake you. The sky cannot break. You are not the storm. You are the sky, and the sky remains always. The practice. The next time a powerful, unsettling thought arises, don't try to fight it or make it go away. Instead, simply observe it. See the thought as a fleeting weather pattern in the sky of your awareness. As you notice it gently and without judgment, repeat this phrase to yourself. There is the thought of inadequacy, or there is the feeling of fear. By framing it this way, you are not saying I am inadequate or I am afraid. You are simply noting the presence of a thought or a feeling. You are creating a critical distance, reminding yourself that you are the vast, unchanging sky, and the thoughts are merely clouds passing through. Exercise 3. Returning to the shore. The unspoken guest of anxiety never arrives with courtesy. It does not ring the bell or wait patiently at the porch, like a polite visitor. It finds its way in quietly, slipping under doors, creeping through windows, drifting in like a shadow at dusk. Sometimes it rushes in with a force you cannot ignore, like a sudden gust of wind that rattles the windows of your mind. Other times it enters so subtly that you hardly notice it until it has already made itself comfortable. One moment, the house of your mind is your sanctuary, familiar, steady, quiet. You can hear the hum of your own breath, feel the stillness of being present. Then suddenly, the guest is there. It drags its heavy bags across the floor and drops them in the center of the room. bags stuffed with worry, doubt, regret, and fear, and without permission, it pulls out a chair at the table of your thoughts. It sits down as if it belongs there. It leans in close, its presence heavy and unrelenting. The guest doesn't need to shout, it knows persistence is enough. Its voice is not always loud, but it is steady, familiar, and convincing. You never invited it in, but still you listen. Its mission is simple, to pull you away from the only place where life truly unfolds, the present moment. And it does so with great skill, using its two favorite tricks, dragging you forward or pulling you back. When it pushes you forward, it asks the same haunting questions. What if you fail? What if you're not enough? What if tomorrow collapses? What if everything you've built comes undone? Each what if is like a tug at your sleeve, pulling you further from the ground beneath your feet. It carries you out into waters you cannot navigate because they do not yet exist. Anxiety thrives in this imagined future, a landscape built not of truth, but of fear, where your heart races in preparation for battles that may never even come. And when you grow weary of rehearsing futures that haven't happened, the guest changes its approach. It pulls you backward into the shadows of memory. Its voice sharpens here, dripping with accusation. Remember when you failed? Remember the words you regret? Remember the mistake you cannot undo? It replays old tapes again and again until you mistake them for truth. It magnifies past wounds, convincing you that yesterday defines today, that regret is stronger than redemption. And so you wrestle with ghosts, pouring your energy into rewriting pages of the story that are already finished. Forward or backward, this is the guest's game. It does everything in its power to keep you away from the one place it cannot survive, the present. For here, in this breath, you are safe. Here, in this step, you are whole. Here, in this heartbeat, you are alive. The guest cannot enter the now, because the present is real and the guest feeds only on illusion. The now is steady, grounded, alive. Anxiety cannot thrive in reality. It needs the smoke and mirrors of what if and if only. But the guest is cunning. It wears disguises. It tells you that it is simply responsibility, that its warnings are wisdom, that its rehearsals are preparation. I'm only trying to keep you safe, it insists, as it leads you further from safety. This is the trick. The guest promises protection, but delivers only exhaustion. True safety is not found in obsessing over tomorrow or rewriting yesterday. True safety lives here, in the immediacy of your own breath, in the weight of your body against the chair, in the texture of life as it is right now, and here lies your power. Every time you return to the present, you reclaim your home. Every time you notice the rise and fall of your breath, instead of the rise and fall of your fears, every time you anchor yourself in the now rather than the storm, you take back the keys from the guest. Here is another truth. The guest may never stop arriving. Anxiety may always wander back through the doors of your mind, tugging at your sleeve, setting down its old familiar bags. But your relationship with it can change. You can learn to recognize it as a visitor, not a ruler. You can see it for what it is, persistent, yes, but powerless without your attention. And so when it sits down at your table, you need not panic. You can nod at it. You can say, I see you, I know your voice, I know your tricks, but I choose to stay here in this moment. Over time, the guest loses its power, its stories grow thin, its threats lose their bite. It still comes, but it no longer commands you. You no longer mistake its voice for your own, and each time you return to presence, whether through a breath, through noticing the ground beneath your feet, through listening to the sounds around you, you strengthen your home. You discover again and again that the guest is only ever temporary, that it cannot own you, that it cannot define you, that it does not determine your worth. The unspoken guest may visit again and again, but you are not the guest. You are the house, you are the space that holds it all, and your true refuge, your unshakable home, is always right here, right now. The practice. Your body is your shore, your truest home. Find a comfortable position and gently tune into your physical sensations. Shift your attention away from the racing thoughts and onto the simple fact of being here. Feel the ground beneath. Your feet, the chair supporting your back, or the texture of your clothes against your skin. This is a deliberate act of choosing reality over the narratives in your mind. If your thoughts pull you away, don't get frustrated. Just notice that you've drifted, and with the same gentleness you'd offer a child, bring your awareness back to the anchor of your body. Each return is a strengthening of your ability to find peace, no matter what your mind is doing. The path ahead. The presence of this silent companion is not a sign of weakness nor a flaw in who you are. It does not mean you are broken, nor does it mean that something is wrong with you. Its arrival is not an indictment, but an invitation. Think of it as a signal, a whisper in the stillness calling your attention to the moment you are in. This companion comes not to punish, but to point. It asks you to soften your grip on what you cannot control. It reminds you that you are not required to solve the future or rewrite the past in this moment. It invites you to step back from the noisy stage of your thoughts, to watch them moving across the sky of your mind, like passing clouds rather than believing every word they speak. It calls you back to your body, to the ground beneath your feet, to the rhythm of your breath. It reminds you that reality is not the storm of fear in your head, but the steady pulse in your chest, the inhale and exhale that carry you through each moment. And most importantly, it invites you to offer yourself kindness, especially in the moments you feel least deserving of it. So the next time this companion arrives, you do not have to panic. You do not have to fight it, nor resist it, nor argue with the stories it tells. You do not have to invite it to stay either. You can simply notice its presence, acknowledge it with calm curiosity, as you would notice a guest passing through your doorway. And then you can turn your attention gently, compassionately, back to the truth. Right here, right now, you are safe. Right here, right now, you are whole. This is the great paradox. Peace is not something you have to create. It is not something you must earn or chase down. It is always here beneath the noise waiting for you. All that is required is your return. Each breath is a door back home. Each moment of awareness is a step back to yourself. And so when the companion comes, let it remind you, not of your fragility, but of your strength. Let it remind you that you have the power to pause, to release, to return. You are not the stories it tells. You are the one who hears them. You are not the storm of thought. You are the sky that holds it. You are not broken. You are whole. All that's required, always, is to come home to yourself.